Hi, my name's Jamie Turner. I'm the founder of 60secondmarketer.com, and this is On Air with Jamie Turner. I'm joined today by a very good friend of mine named Andy Goldsmith, who is the VP of Creative and Brand Strategy at the American Cancer Society. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Excellent. Tell us what you do at the American Cancer Society and kind of what your role is there.
Sure. Well, I'm part of the communications management structure at the American Cancer Society, and particularly I'm involved in anything that represents the expression of the brand to the outside world. Mm-hmm. So that means how we portray ourselves in advertising, how we portray ourselves in customer experience, how we portray ourselves across the board. I have a particular interest in brand and advertising. That's my background, and so that's where I focus a lot of my attention.
So you said one of the things that you focus on is kind of going across the board. How important is it for a brand to go ahead and make sure that the elements that they have in one channel are the same as the elements in the other channels?
Well, as you can correctly assume, it's critically important, and we do a pretty good job of it. It takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work because different channels are given to different modes of expression, and so everything's going to have some variation, but that variation should be perhaps specific to the channel. The main part is that a brand, or particularly a brand promise, ought to not only permeate everything that you do, but it's a long-term proposition. It's going to be around for a while, and it needs to engage people similarly throughout any channel that you choose.
Has the brand promise for American Cancer Society changed dramatically over, let's say, the last decade, or has it really pretty much stayed the same for that whole period?
Great question. I don't think it's changed dramatically, but it's certainly been refined. And we hit upon something several years ago that really helped us tell our story a lot better. The ACS is known, everyone knows that we are a research organization, that we stand for evidence-based research that has changed the face of cancer and changed the way that people look at cancer and how people survive and how people are treated. But trying to refine that into something that anyone could get and understand a little bit better was part of our situation with refining the brand promise. And in fact, we lit on something that says, we're not just in the business of research, we're actually more than a researcher, we're a lifesaver. And so that's where the positioning and the promise of the official sponsor of birthdays came out. So American Cancer Society, the official sponsor of birthdays.
Love that campaign. You were a pivotal sort of focal point on driving that through, and you've worked with other people. I know it was a broad group of people, but tell us a little bit about that campaign, because it really was a fascinating campaign.
We are sort of a mile wide and an inch deep when it comes to the breadth of the organization. We do so many different things, and people really don't know what all those things are. So as we looked for how to communicate that, we said, what's a universal truth that anyone can appreciate, that everyone has the same respect for? And we lit upon the idea not of avoiding deaths and not of research in a lab with the white lab coats, but the idea that everyone has a birthday. Everyone wants more birthdays. We all desperately want more birthdays for our loved ones.
Yeah.
A survivor is celebrating that next birthday and cherishing that. A mom wants more birthdays for her kid, infinite birthdays for her kids.
Right, yeah.
And so it's a universal truth that could marry up to the kinds of things people think about the American Cancer Society, but maybe more importantly, give us a platform for talking about all those different things that allow us to help create a world with more birthdays. And one fact that compared to 20 years ago, we're saving 350 more lives a day, or put another way, 350 more birthdays a day are being celebrated because, in part, of the work that the American Cancer Society has done.
Oh, that's cool. And one of the things I'm hearing from what you're saying is you took a core value of the American Cancer Society, found a commonality that goes across every single person on this planet, that we all have birthdays, and said, how can we marry that to what we do to make it resonate with people? And it's been a terrific campaign. Tell us a little bit, we started talking about campaign work, trying to make sure that everything goes across multiple platforms. Who's doing the best job of that right now, or who's doing the worst job of that, and what are some of the lessons that you've learned in studying what other people are doing on that front?
I don't know that I know the best or worst. I do have a couple of people that I track or brands that I track that I think are doing it really well. One is our old friends, Nike. And while it's helpful to have unlimited money, which none of us have, and certainly as a nonprofit, we are far from their situation. But we do look at some of the things they do around creating community, and I'll pick out Nike Plus. Familiar with that? So you're a runner. You see how people record all their progress in their running. It's posted online, it's posted in social. There are challenges that are ginned up to try and get other people engaged. It's used as a guilt point to say, why aren't you running?
Right.
I think they have logged 347 million miles have been recorded through Nike Plus, and it becomes a conversation that the brand started, but the brand doesn't have to sustain, because you and I will sustain it when we give each other a hard time about how much we've run.
Excellent. So
I love that one.
That's a great example. And what I'm hearing is that it's interactive. It's actually taking the consumer and getting them to interact with the brand in some way, which of course deepens the relationship, and that's important.
In fact, they're interacting with the brand sort of as soon as they take that last step of the run. They're going to the phone and saying, "Look what I did," and I'm gonna upload my miles for today, and anyone they're connected to is gonna see that and perhaps start a conversation about it.
Cool. Andy Goldsmith with the American Cancer Society, thanks for joining us. My name's Jamie Turner. This has been On Air with Jamie Turner, and we'll see you next time.